Hello and welcome to the second 1v1 match in the second round between myself and Zennith. We have a Slavs versus Ethiopians match. So I'm going to speed up a little bit while I talk about the civilizations. Start off with the Slavs. Slavs have cheaper siege. They have a tech called Druzina, which makes their infantry extremely strong. They have a full siege workshop with the exception of bombard cannons. And in my opinion, they're one of the best civs. They have this bonus where their military buildings give them +5 population space. So, kind of hard to house them. They don't need to build as many houses. So each player is going to typically get between 15 and 20 villagers before going to the feudal age. As you see, I'm on the way to feudal first, followed shortly by Zennith. Difference being I went 18, he went 16 villagers. I went for an immediate market. Get some gold, buy some stone. Try to get all the gold that I can out of that market. Ethiopians don't even need to sell because they get the free 100 gold and 100 food just for advancing to the feudal age. So Zennith is going to hit Castle Age first. He's housed at 20. I hit Castle Age and I build 1 and 2 and 3 town centers. Here we have Zennith working on building his second town center. So, Ethiopians. What do the Ethiopians have going for them? Well, their siege is incredibly strong if they get the torsion engine upgrade. That increases the blast radius of their units, makes their scorpions hit more people, it makes their siege onagers hit more people. It's just a very strong technology. They have only two-handed swordsmen from their barracks. They have halberdiers, they have archers. Their archers shoot faster. So in a game like this, you're going to expect to see siege from both players, maybe some Ethiopian archers behind some halberdiers or two-handed swordsmen. You can see I have a 25 villager lead. I have one more town center. I have one more farm. Just trying to get to near 12,000 wood or more so you can sell it. so you get enough gold to build a couple onagers, well, mangonels, and then research the onager upgrade. I personally like to do 6. I like to have 3 groups with 2 in each group. I find that to be the most efficient way of cutting. I normally get to the Imperial Age mid-20s, maybe 21 minutes in, if I do the 4 town center method. So if you look at villager count, I have a 17 villager lead. This is just personally how I like to cut. Usually I make a little semicircle like this, build a mill, get some farms up. This food is really important early. So Zennith just got Imperial Age, oh, he's researching Imperial Age. He's got his 2 mangonels out. But he doesn't have gold for the onager upgrade. There we go. Now he's getting onager. So you can see base size. I'm in a better position. I have more onagers. I have more population. Got a 40 villager lead, which should give me more resources, more gold to spend. I upgraded the siege onager. Then I get my university upgrades, my castle upgrades. I don't know if you guys watched the first round of the tournament. I did the exact same thing in this game that I did in both games in the first round. I went the wrong way. So you can see Zennith is here, and I start cutting this way. Because my thought is, I'm in this corner, he's going to be in this corner, so I just start cutting that way. Zennith down here is expanding his base, getting farms, building some military, because he knows I've been an imp for about 10 minutes. If I had cut the correct way to him, we would be connected already, and the fighting would have started. Which would have put him in a pretty tough spot. He only had 3 barracks. At that point, I had what? 14? So, tough to stop. I had max pop capability, and he had 200. He would have had only 3 barracks. He doesn't have a university upgrade for his onagers. He didn't get siege onager yet. Missing 6 houses for 30 population. Honestly, I'm really fortunate that he didn't cut up. Because if he had cut up to me, then I would have been in trouble. Because all of my production buildings were up here. And if he had cut straight up, he would have been able to go straight into my eco. I would have been in a really rough spot. Yeah, I could have sent my military from here. I could have built more farms in the back. But it's just a position that you don't really want to be in. Having the other team attack your eco. At this point, we still know where each other are. At some point, I figured out, since I got the hole over here, and I couldn't see him up here, he's got to be down to the south. So what I like to do is I like to watch the player being attacked. I like to watch his eco. All he can see is a couple siege onagers. Now he's got an upgraded siege onager. I honestly don't know how I didn't kill anything. There we go. 4. There's 4 siege onagers for 1. His trebuchet probably killed a couple. We take Fog of War off. So his resources, you can see he's got a lot of wood that he can sell for gold. He's got 6,000 food. I have no wood because I constantly sell that for gold so I can keep producing my siege. Zennith has 110 villagers to my 180, so he has a much bigger army potential than I do. My path is not the best on the way down. It was nice and solid up to here, but then I got impatient and I just wanted to start the fighting. So you can't fight Slav infantry with your infantry. Halberdier versus Halberdier, it's not going to be a good fight for you. The trample damage is insane. See, a couple of my rams are hitting his barracks. That one's hitting a lumber camp. That's bound to be devastating for him. Losing lumber camps late in the matches like this, you never want to lose your lumber camps. He has enough skirmishers that he's able to kill siege rams. And at some point, I get tired of seeing this entire mass of skirmishers that he has, and decide to just lay waste. Half of the skirmishers down in one shot. He still has 40 skirmishers. He's got more military than I do because he has less villagers. Look at resources. He still has 20,000 wood that he can sell. I think Ethiopians get killed, so he's got a much higher gold outcome for selling the wood. Now, skirmishers have a bonus versus halberdiers, but they do not have a bonus versus champions. I got tired of his skirmishers killing my halberdiers, so I started making champions. Sent in more siege, champions. I did make a couple stables thinking I might just send some cav into his eco, but the champions they look like they're doing the trick. Do I have a ton of resources to spare? No, I don't. I have food, and that's basically it. There he sold 20,000 wood, got some gold. What I think Zennith could have done better was more siege. Some bombard cannons to snipe the onagers. Some more onagers themselves. He has 4 archers to kill my champions. At this point, he's down to 80 villagers. And so at any point, if he had cut here directly in, I mean, he didn't know I was there until after the game, but if he had gone exploring and found me, could have made it a very, very interesting, or even more interesting of a first round game. I had one random siege ram that took out a castle. Champions pushed in. Don't have a lot of resources. I decide to just build a ton of close barracks. But if he's going to keep fighting, I'm going to make a bunch more barracks in his face so I don't have to reinforce from way up here. I'm going to start fighting from here. He called GG. You guys didn't see it because it was verbal. We were in the same Discord. Yeah, real quick, look at the map. I built 16. I built like 30 barracks, and it's a lot of population space for slabs. If I had just gone straight in, the game probably would have been over a lot sooner. Statistics. I had about a 3-to-1 kill to death ratio. I killed 60 of my own units. Destroyed 38 buildings. My economy was stronger. I sold some food and wood, which is why I had more gold. He got the castle age faster, but I had my town centers up faster. I got to imp 3 minutes faster. I had more villagers. So that game ended 1-0. Game 2 was Zennith's home map. He chose 7x7. Here we have Teutons versus Incas in 7x7. He wasn't kidding when he said he messed up his start a little bit. So if you do this properly, you can get 3 farms, lumber camp, and a mill and a house. Delete the house, build a lumber camp. Delete the lumber camp and the mill, and you can put your 2 houses back up and build. You can produce more villagers. Zennith took the hard way. And he didn't cut here, so he didn't have enough for 3 farms, which is going to put him behind. He already has 3 less villagers. Call it 2.5 less villagers. And then you can push your farms together. And then when you cut down here, you can have 5 farms. Let's talk about the civs real quick. Teutons, +2 melee armor on all of their barracks and stable units. They have a full siege workshop except for siege rams. I'd like to apologize for that. My dog goes ballistic whenever someone knocks on our door. So what you missed was I built a market and a blacksmith.
Nice.
I sold wood, bought food, built some houses, and now I'm on my way to getting 25 villagers. Looks like Zennith went for 25 villagers before going to Castle Age. So 25 villagers feudal age. When I hit 25 villagers, I click up to Castle Age. If you look at the size of our bases, they're roughly the same. But now I am in Castle Age. Instant second town center, an extra house in the lumber camp. Get the bow saw upgrade. Get the wheelbarrow upgrade. And we're just going to produce villagers. And we're going to get enough wood to get us to the Imperial Age. So Zennith's on his way to Castle Age himself. Interesting. He bought 200 stone from the market when he was in feudal age. This makes me wonder if he's going to go ahead and build 3 town centers in Castle Age. There's a second town center. Incas are great on this map because they have need for less houses. So I have 10 houses, 60 total pop space. He's got 6 houses, 70 total pop space. I love playing as Incas for the housing advantage, but they're missing things on their siege workshop. They don't get siege onager. They don't get bombard cannon. They do get siege ram. They do get siege engineers, but their lack of a full siege workshop makes them a little bit less good. They do get slingers, which are anti-infantry. Slingers are very strong versus infantry. They'll kill them super quick. And with something as slow as a Teutonic Knight, you do not want to send Teutonic Knights versus slingers. And I'm aware that he has Incas and he's going to make slingers, so I'm not going to make any Teutonic Knights. There's my 6 onagers, grouped into 3 groups of 2. Get the onager upgrade. Expand a little. At this point, Zennith has a villager lead. He's got 3 town centers up. Building a market so he can go ahead and get himself the gold he needs to get the Imperial Age. I bought some stone so I could build some extra town centers, because I knew I was going to be behind in villagers and I wanted to catch up. So I went from 2 to 6 town centers. Then is building his 4th town center. Siege workshop so he can upgrade his mangonels to onagers. Just needs 70 more food. I'm expanding, building more farms, getting my houses down so I can get up to max population. I'm thinking I'm going to need 40 to 50 farms depending on how quickly my units are dying. So I'm going to keep expanding and building farms. Zennith no longer has a villager lead. I have that by about 15. He's houses himself. But it's super easy to get unhoused with Incas. Look at that, you just build 5 houses and bam, you're no longer housed for forever. I would put another lumber camp like right here, chop those trees, and build houses there. But nothing on the edge of the map. Except for houses. So there, I start expanding. Got my siege onager, my chemistry, my siege engineers. Getting my barracks upgrades. Some of my blacksmith upgrades. Some siege workshops. Zennith gets some archery ranges so he can make slingers and skirmishers. Real quick, we're going to put that back to normal speed. And we're going to look. Slinger. 30 food, 40 gold. Ranged anti-infantry unit. It is very, very strong versus infantry. Alright, let's go back to a little quick. I have a 25 villager lead. He's producing slingers, he's producing halberdiers. He can't see me. I can see him. He doesn't know I'm there yet. Still doesn't know I'm there. Boom. Now we're connected. And I'm smart enough to kill 2 of my onagers. Alright, normal speed. So, if you can see, I made a couple mistakes. His are +2/+2. Mine are +2/+4. I did not get my final infantry attack or defense upgrades. Zennith had 25 farms at this point, which is not enough. I had 45 because I knew my units were going to die super quick. I knew he was going to have slingers, and I was going to need a bunch of food to just spam the crap out of my units because they were just going to die so fast. So Zennith is fighting. Halberdiers, some slingers, a couple onagers. I take a shot at the slingers, kill like 6 of them. Here my siege got in front of my melee units, which didn't work out well for my siege. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but if you look at my population, I have 35 less pop than I should. I am dumb. I forgot to build 7 more houses. So I am fighting with 35 less military than he is. I got bombard cannons out, trying to snipe the houses so I can just slowly crawl into his base. I still haven't figured out that I'm missing blacksmith upgrades. He realized it. He got his defense upgrades. He got his attack upgrades. There we go. I just realized that I needed houses. Here I go building houses. This is probably about the time that I realized my infantry wasn't fully upgraded. So soon, I should be upgrading my infantry. Look at those slingers just destroy those halberdiers. They die so fast. All of my bombard cannons from the first batch died because I went focused on something else. Built more bombard cannons. Once again, I'm going to try to start sniping buildings so I can get into his base. He realizes he needs more food. So he builds 14 more farms. And once again, Zennith is basically out of food. I'm destroying his buildings. He doesn't have enough food. He has 70 less population than Max. He really needs to refresh those lumber camps. A bunch of his buildings are going down. He has 30,000 wood, which he can sell for gold and make a ton of gold units. But he hasn't been making gold units. I'm using bombard cannons, sniping building after building. I'm going to make some more forward siege workshops. I have thousands and thousands of resources. Still didn't upgrade my infantry because, once again, I'm stupid and I forgot. Zennith wasn't kind enough to let me know that my infantry wasn't fully upgraded. I figure if you're fighting someone, you should be kind enough to let them know that they messed up. Not really, that's my own fault. So if you look down here, military, I have 80 to his 30, 40, 90 to his 40. I have way more military. He's not even close to pop capped. But it's like, right here, my military is getting stuck. I destroyed these buildings, Zennith rebuilt them, which is entirely frustrating. Still hasn't refreshed the lumber camp. How many times do I have to destroy these buildings before they stay dead? I'm down to 4 bombard cannons from my 11. Once again, all of my units are basically just in this little box. Zennith asked me where or how all of his skirmishers died. I signaled where I had all my onagers, they had just come out of these siege workshops. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Look at that, they're just stuck. Horrible.
Payson?
So I think Zennith spent a lot of gold on slingers. I would have spent some gold on some onagers. I know you don't. His onagers aren't as good, but they have the same range. And one shot's still probably going to kill an onager or siege onager. So you may as well make some. Scorpions wouldn't have been a bad idea because scorpions will do more than skirmishers. Here he builds more farms. He's at 110 less population. I get more bombard cannons out, start sniping buildings. He's not producing any military. So at this point, from my perspective, it looked clear. It looked like I was about to just walk in and take his base. And then he starts producing military again. More slingers. More halberdiers. He's still at 100 less than max pop. I've been max pop essentially this whole game. Well, since we started fighting and I realized I needed the houses. I build some stables because I think, hey, if I can send some cavalier into his farms, kill his farmers, that'll make him quit. Then it's up to 55 farms. Still think you needed to refresh those lumber camps. Would have made that wood collection a whole lot more efficient. Then it's at 150, 160 population. I don't think he ever built a castle. If he had conscription, probably would have been better for him. He would have got his units out faster. I knocked down as many buildings as I could with those bombard cannons. And my cavalier just dropped dead. Probably because I didn't have any defense upgrades for them. Something that I forget whenever I'm trying to do raids with cavalier. I forget to upgrade the defense. I normally only upgrade my melee, my infantry upgrade. If I had sent those up here, could have killed those farmers because all of his military was down there. Zennith is pop capped again, finally. He'd spent the last like 5-10 minutes not being pop capped. And at this point, it looks completely over from my perspective. I thought, I have more siege. I'm just going to walk in and finish off the rest of everything he's got. But the Inca slingers and the skirmishers and my own siege onagers. I'm just killing my own units left and right here. Really hard to push when you're killing all of your own units. Once again, his spam runs out. He's down to 200 population. I'm still capped. Check this out. I finally figured out that I was lacking upgrades. And I finished off getting my infantry upgrades. It only took me about 55 minutes to an hour into the game. And no, I'm not sick. I'm just, I don't know, nose is stuffed up a bit sometimes. So I have one halberd here on a farm. Constantly selling wood for gold. Sometimes I sell food if I have to. Zennith has a ton of wood that he can sell. That's probably like 4,000 gold worth of wood. He never refreshes lumber camp. Okay, so he deleted 50 villagers to kind of do like an all-in, trying to overwhelm me with military numbers. So here's where he dropped to 90 to give himself 150, 160 military. Either that or I killed those villagers. I'm not sure which. He didn't set a gather point for those barracks, which is why those units were sitting there. He's using villagers to repair the buildings that I was shooting. And my spam is running out. I'm low on a bunch of resources because I keep selling them. I build champions because I see champions of his. My champions are better because I got more pierce armor than he does. Or more melee armor than he does. So his units do 2 less damage to me than I do to him. My spam ran out. So I was at 60 population less, which did a lot of damage. It allowed him to push the whole way back into this gap that I had completely filled. He kills my siege. Zennith is down to 20 woodcutters, 50 farmers, 90 total villagers. 15 of them idle because he was using them to repair buildings. He gets out a siege ram that starts trying to ram down my siege workshops. Right now he has an overwhelming number of military on the field compared to what I have on the field. I think I still have like... So he's got 50 more military out on the field. Some of it's trash. Some of what I have is trash. So I think I need to even the odds. He has more military, so I need something that can kill a bunch quickly. So I build some scorpions. Scorpions are really good for killing a ton of infantry quickly, especially if you have trash in front of them. Zennith builds some new lumberjacks to replace the ones that I killed or he deleted. I had a scout raid up here. Yes, Teutons don't get light cav, so I raided with scout cavalry. Really lame. I don't recommend it. But they don't cost gold like the Cavaliers did, which I lost in nothing. They did nothing. So he's trying to ram down my barracks. Got one. Another one's super weak. But my scorpions behind my halberdiers are helping me push in. I build some new siege onagers. We're both about the same population, 230-ish. He's pop capped with what he has queued up. Look at that. 9 scorpions stacked on top of each other. 1 onager shot, and those are all dead. All of them. Although they're doing work killing all of the infantry that's walking towards my units. But my siege is backing up my halberdiers, making it so they can't get through. Zennith is running out of resources. He drops down to 130 pop. I'm still capped. But I'm like scrambling because my resources are running out. I think I need to end this and soon, because if I have to keep fighting the way we're fighting, I'm not going to be able to keep this up. I've spent so much gold on siege that has been killed, and he's just been using trash. I mean, I've been using mostly trash, but his trash is killing my trash. He sends these units on a patrol. I send scouts in there. All of his patrolled units go back because they saw my units running, which is really good for me. This clears up the front of the battlefield. I got units on his farms, units on his farms. He has very little wood, very little food, no gold. I have no wood, very little food. I do have gold. At some point I notice, look how close we are. He could have just cut in here, sent Eagle Warriors, and trashed my entire economy. Something that I should have prepared for, but I know other people will do it. Zennith still has 90 villagers fighting under his town centers, but he's not garrisoned them. See, he knows he needs the food, and he calls GG, says good luck next round. So, I had placed a bunch of barracks. I should have built those sooner, but Zennith and I have the same idea for combat. We just keep fighting our military. Occasional raids if you can get them through, but we didn't send anything the other way. Something that I saw whenever I played this earlier, if you look at his units killed versus my units lost, I killed 950 of my own units. A lot of those units were gold units. I used a lot of champions. So I killed a lot of my own units, which is horrible. I had more wood and more food, which translates to more gold. I was faster to every age, which enabled me to get the first sale at the market. I had more villagers. I had a castle and he didn't. Him not having conscription, it probably hurt him. And here is the timeline. The times where he went down to like no military, I just expected to just walk right through. This game lasted a lot longer than I expected it to. After about here, I was expecting this game to be over. Whenever he dropped down to like no military, he wasn't producing. I don't know if I just killed all my own units or what, but he held really well. Zennith is a really strong player. This was a great game, and I will see you guys all in the next one.